How does a pod authenticate itself to the Kubernetes API? The answer is service accounts. This is part 24 of the Kubernetes series. Your app running inside a pod sometimes need to talk to Kubernetes API to list pod, create resources, or read config map. But how does an API know who is making that request? How does it authenticate the pod? That is exactly what service account solve. Think of service account like a company ID badge. Every employee, every pod gets a badge when they join. The badge tells the security system who you are and what doors you are allowed to open. Without the badge, you can't get into any of the restricted area. With the badge, you get exactly what the access your role requires, nothing more. Every pod in Kubernetes gets service account automatically, the default service account. Kubernetes mount a token for this service account inside every container at a location. The pod uses this token to authenticate to the Kubernetes API. The default service account has very limited permission, which is good. But if your app needs to list pods or create resources like monitoring tools such as Prometheus that needs to list pod to scrape metrics, or a CI/CD tool like Argo CD that needs to create and update deployments, you need to create a custom service account. Give it a right permission using RBAC and assign it to your pod. One important security setting: auto-mount service account token to false. If your pod is simple web servers or REST API that never talks to Kubernetes API at runtime, just serving request and talking to database, you can set this setting as false. As a result, the token won't be mounted, so your attack surface is reduced and your app will run with minimum permissions. Now, let's understand the file and demo everything. All the code details are on YouTube post. So kube control get service accounts. Can you see the default service account that exists in every namespace automatically? So here we have this service account.yml file. Now, by applying custom service account YML, we created a custom service account called my service account. Can you see kube control get service account has two accounts, default and my service account. Look at this pod.yml file. We are using service account name as my service account. That tells Kubernetes to use the custom service account. Auto mount service account token is true. That means token will be mounted inside the container. Now let's apply these files. The pod is running now. Kube control execute get us inside the container. 3 files are mounted: token, ca.crt and namespace. Everything your app needs to authenticate itself to the Kubernetes API. This is the JWT token Kubernetes mounted automatically. Your app sends this token in the authorization header when calling the Kubernetes API. Kubernetes verifies it and knows exactly which pod is making the request. The key takeaway from today's session is service accounts are identities for the pod. Every pod gets the default service account automatically. Creates a custom service account for app that needs specific API access. That's all for today. Hope you understand. Check out the YouTube community post for all the code details and practice yourself. Thanks for more.